Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy StumpD back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving into some Pirate Rumble with the new Powerhouse Fighter team. Now, this is actually my second take of actually recording this particular video because Garp got his PvP updates with the new PvP buff that they actually gave to a whole bunch of units like Garp, like Smoothie, like Kuma, like Laffy, like a bunch of units basically just got like a PvP buff, and Garp was actually one of them. So I actually put together this particular team with a fighter-centric mentality. However, every single unit on this team is actually a powerhouse fighter and works out quite nicely except for the bench. Now, the bench is designed around powerhouse Dex units because Garp and Donjin Jiao are both Dex characters, and the main lineup actually boosts an entire fighter or an entire powerhouse sort of setup. So with the release of new Jinbe, he's actually very, very good for powerhouse units, but obviously being a fighter unit, you can slide him on the powerhouse fighter team. Katakuri is a great example of a character that sort of fits on both of those builds because Katakuri's passive will include powerhouse, fighter, slasher, shooter, driven. And then you've got Ulti, who's a great fighter booster on top of Garp and Donjin Jiao. Once you start losing units, like you guys will see at the back end of this video, you have some very, very good bench options in Dalton and Pell, boosting both Dex and Powerhouse. And then just Smoker, just being Smoker in the back there, works very, very nicely. So the first fight is against a strength build. Wasn't anything too crazy, but just sort of a nice feeler for how the team operated. And honestly, I was pretty impressed with the fighter team with these new buffs. We'll touch on what each individual unit does in a second, but with these new buffs that fighter namely got, I was actually pretty impressed with what they can do. Can they take on some of those big end teams like Wano, Law, Sai teams? No, they definitely can't. Can they take on driven int powerhouse, quick driven shenanigans? No. Can they take on Luffy and his craziness in the Dex team provide? Definitely not. But can they take on stuff like Slashes and Free Spirits? Well, I guess we'll have to find out as this video continues. So whilst the fighter powerhouse team isn't exactly the best team in the game, it is still a lot of fun to run, and with a lot of new upgrades for the team actually operates quite well. Now, I do want to give some notable mentions to a couple of characters. There's a lot of powerhouse fighters, actually. You have V1 Jinbe and his level limit break. You have Marco, the super class Sai unit. You've got Who's Who is another great option for this particular team. There's just so many good options. There's so many good options. I think we actually take on a fighter team as well, and that showed off a lot of other characters that you can actually use for this particular build. You can use something like Jack. Jack's a great fighter option as well. And like I said, you just have a lot of very good characters that you can slide into this team to make it very, very good. But the team that I built out looks a little bit like this. We are using Katakuri and his level limit break plus. With his level 5 level limit break, he gives level 7 attack, HP, and speed to fighter, slasher, shooter, driven, and powerhouse characters. And then his special does a butt ton of damage at 2.9 times attack in a large range, and then gives himself 40% healing. Now, because he gives himself so much healing, I probably should like move him closer to the middle, just so he's taking a little bit more damage, and then probably maybe move Donjin Jiao out, so that way he's not taking as much damage. But nevertheless, like, Katakuri is a big damage dealer. He's got a very, very good passage. And at level limit break 5, giving level 7 to all your stats being, like, what? Level 7 attack up for those classes. And then fighters get HP and speed. Level 7. Like, that is really, really, really good for, a last Super Evolution. Very, very good for a level limit break. And they've been continuing that trend with these particular characters and their level limit breaks with the Super Evolution. So Katakuri, he's basically a must on a fighter team. He works very, very well. Alright, so here's the other fighter build that I actually took on. They were using Who's Who, Marco, Jinbe, like I said, very good units. You also have like someone like Jack, which is very, very good as well. Powerhouse and fighters, it's just weird that they have so much synergy with those particular classes, from what you guys can see here too. Next, we've got Donjin Jiao. He's our Pirate Rumble Rare Recruit. Now, Pirate Rumble Rare Recruits are always valuable on teams because it allows you to run an 8-man bench, and having at least one of them in your main lineup means you can run the full bench as Pirate Rumble Rare Recruits. Donjin Jiao, his special is going to target enemies within a large frontal range for 70% chance to special bind for 10 seconds. He does damage over time, level 2 for 15 seconds, and then targets 2 enemies for special cooldown of 30% delay. So he'll reduce cooldowns and his special binds. This is very, very good when you are taking on stuff like Yamato's with like Straw Hat crews, all those free spirit shenanigans. You can do some really, really cool stuff with that special blind, and it works very well because it's on such a low cooldown. His Rumble ability gives fighter class teammates HP up level 6, attack up level 6, and when there is less than 50 seconds remaining, he gives himself level 10 attack up. He's not the craziest unit in the entire world, but he definitely like nerfs a lot of other build comps, because that way you can get a lot of special bind shenanigans and like special reduction shenanigans. Plus the damage over time is actually pretty nice. He does a lot of damage to the back end of the fight as well, which is awesome. Next we've got good old JINBE, the main man of this particular video, as well as GARP obviously. His Rumble special targets enemies in a large horizontal range, unfortunately, but it's still a large range, which is nice, for 2.3 times his attacking damage, and then targets Powerhouse class teammates for defense up level 5 for 15 seconds on a 29-second cooldown. Isn't too shabby. However, you always see it like at the 40-second mark because it's just such a weird time for him to be attacking as well. His passive gives Powerhouse teammates attack up level 6, HP up level 6, self-defense up level 4, and after receiving damage up to 5 times, he gives himself level 1 attack up. So every time you take damage, you get level 1 attack, stacks up to 5 times, which is a very interesting ability. It does work well with obviously what this JINBE like was built around when versing Who's Who. Very ironic that we actually took out Who's Who there as well. But he's a very, very good unit. He's your defensive juggernaut. He's your defensive rejuvenator. He can continuously give you defense as well as outputting a lot of damage with his special. Alright, so we're getting onto the juicy stuff now. We're against a free spirit team. Now, obviously, I purely targeted a non-law team. I didn't have all that much confidence going in against a free spirit build. Namely because if like Straw Hat crew pops off and then you get the haste shenanigans and all that stuff goes brazy, you're in for a bad time. But this is where the special binding of Donjin Jiao actually comes in clutch. The next unit is another unit that we really want to focus on in today's video, and that's GARP. GARP got his buffs with the PvP upgrades, and he got a very, very drastic buff. And it's the reason why I really wanted to like re-record this particular video and showcase him with his upgrades, because he's just so much better than what he once was. He now targets 2 enemies with high special cooldown for attack of 1.8 times damage, up to 2 times. It used to be max, which is a massive difference. Absolutely monstrous difference. He then targets fighter class teammates attack up, speed up level 7 for 20 seconds, and when he's below 70% HP, he gives himself a 1.6 counter stance. His Rumble ability will give fighter class teammates blow away percent up level 5, defense up level 5, HP up level 5, and when your remaining HP is 70% or below, self-attack up level 5, and defense up level 5. So the idea with GARP is you want him to get below 70%. It used to be 50, which is great, and that way he gives himself those extra buffs. But for this particular fight, we lost him very, very early. Nevertheless, we have some very good bench options in Pell and Dalton coming in, so that is always fun. And for me as well, I actually took out, I think we took out Odin. Did we take out Odin here? I'm pretty sure we take out Roger. And then because Roger got taken out early, we had Otama come in with a full special, and she just heals everyone back up, which is so annoying. Ulti is another very good damage dealer for this team. Ulti is a fighter booster, so she works great on this team. She is level 6 HP, level attack up, level 6, which is great for fighters. And then her special is really, really powerful. Her special targets fighter class teammates attack up level 10, speed up level 10, crit up level 10, and then targets 3 enemies for 2 times damage up to 2 times. Now, she always gives herself the crit up and the attack up, obviously, because she's a fighter. So this is very powerful, and that 2 times damage for 2 times on a 27-second cooldown is very, very good. So the main lineup works exceptionally well. Obviously, because we are using Donjin Jiao in the lineup, we have a lot of room on our bench for some really, really good Pirate Rumble exclusive characters. Namely, some very good nukers in Dalton and Pell. Being Dex units, they also boost other Dex units like Donjin Jiao and GARP. Now we are getting real brazy, and honestly, we probably win this because of RNG, but I'll let it roll out anyway. RNG is such a heavy reliant when it comes to PvP, and obviously you want to strategize what teams you are versing with teams that you know that can win. And if you see a driven powerhouse team, you're probably going to run something like Dex, or you're going to run something like Wano Law. Probably not a fighter build, but let's test this out and see how we go here. As I was saying, the bench is quite strong here. We have Pell, who boosts Powerhouse teammates attack up level 5, CT speed up level 3, and then Dex type teammates HP up level 5, defense up level 5. Pel's a monster. You guys know how good Pel is. He targets Powerhouse class teammates for attack up level 6, gives guard up, defense up level 5, and targets one enemy with high attack for 2 times the damage attack for up to 4 times. He's an absolute wizard, and having him first spot on the bench means he comes in if we lose a unit, and he gives a lot of buffs to a lot of our team. Because our whole team's Powerhouse, he gives it to all of them as well. Dalton does a lot of damage off the bench as well. He also boosts Dex characters. So if you have Pel, Jin, and Garp still alive, you're getting the most out of this unit. As you guys will see here, we lost ulti, so we have Pel come in, which is great because like more than half our team's getting all of the Pel buffs, which is awesome. Dalton does amazing damage, and he targets one enemy for 3 times his attack, up to 3 times, and then targets Dex-type allies for crit up level 7, and targets quick-type enemies for speed down level 10, which is huge, absolutely huge. Especially when you are taking on these driven builds that have a lot of quick units, he's a very, very good option. And then finally, we've got Smoker. Smoker's just like the best PvP all-round rare recruit. You could probably do some cool stuff with Dalton and Brogy as some really, really good options off the bench, but I love running Smoker whenever I can. His passive for this team does not matter except for one thing. He gives all enemies miss percent chance up level 8. But his special is so good because what he does is he targets enemies within a large frontal range for 2 times his attack, which is quite a decent chunk of damage. But then he targets 2 enemies for a 100% chance to special bind. This is massive because at the back end of a fight, if they have something like Straw Hat Crew or Yamato just sort of waiting around, you can special bind them for 20 seconds. And that way, you just don't have to worry about taking damage, which is absolutely phenomenal. We actually have Smoker coming on this particular fight, I'm fairly certain. At this particular point, this is where Garp's so good, because Garp actually kills 2 units and doesn't have to worry about being at max HP. Absolutely monstrous buff for our boy Garp. As you guys saw there, we actually stopped Fuji from getting his special ready to go, which is massive, massive, because Fuji's actually going to attack right there, and getting that special blind thanks to Jin is actually very, very clutch. We managed to take him out after that. We're going to tank a top Musica special with our boy Katakuri being an absolute chad after he got that 40% heal. And then we're just going to use normal attacks to finish it off. So I hope you guys enjoyed the PvP Pirate Rumble Fighter Powerhouse Showcase. If you guys did, make sure to go down there and hit the like button for me if you're new to the channel. If you haven't done so already, hit that big red subscribe button. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Later.